It's 4:00. Gonna call the Top B board meeting to order.
And the next item is citizens forum. No one has signed up to speak. So we can go to the next item of regular agenda.
Excuse me.
Sorry.
Item 1, discuss, consider a possible action on approval of the December 8th, 2025 meeting minutes. Is there any questions or comments?
Have we had any movement on the whole trees?
Hey, we're just on the minutes.
I'm sorry.
correctly.
Okay, my apologies.
That's okay. Is there a motion? Motion to approve? Okay, motion by Melissa. Is there a second? Carol. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any against? Okay. Motion passes. The next item, item 2, review and discuss questions related to the budget report for November 2025. Mr. Aaron?
Looking over the budget report, I don't see any red flags on any of the line items. Everything seems to be where they need to be low. Nothing's over. If there's any questions on any of the line items?
This is just a discussion item. There's no action. Mr. Rumpel, is it okay if I go to number 3?
It is correct. Go ahead and go to 3.
Discuss, consider a possible action to recommend city council approval of an ordinance amending the code of ordinances related to parks and recreation fees, fishing regulations for city-sponsored events, and park pavilion and park use fees. And we have Mr. Gill here to represent the city.
So we're looking at adding into the ordinances for field use fees, and the other one that was updated was for the fishing regulations. It was currently catch and release for the city pond that we would like to add in that during special events or city sponsored events like our trout fishing event, that's catch and keep. Just want that in the city ordinances. And then we're updating a fee schedule for the field use fees. We have 2 different rates here. We have one for Southwest Youth Sports Association. It'd be $20 per player per season for sport. That updates the fees. Previously, it was $24, so we had lowered those fees. For camps and tournaments, $80 per field per day. Previously, it was $100 team for association tournaments, so we're lowering that substantially. Light fees for tournament use, $20 per hour. Trash can emptying fees, $25 if the city performs it, and $75 per hour for litter cleanup. Public rates would be $25 per hour. Tournament use, $300 per field per day. That's game ready, drug, striped fields. $20 per hour for lights. Additional dragging, $200. That's if we do 1 field or we do all 3 fields. Starting machines, $200 extra per month. Additional marketing, same thing. We go out there, we do 1 field or all fields, $50 to run the strapping machine. Camps and clinics, $200 per field per day. So softball camp or baseball camp, somebody wants to come in, they can. Those are what we're proposing for field rates. These were based off of comps with surrounding areas. And City of Mansfield actually did a big study where they put it out all over the country. So this is comparable to those rates versus what our operation cost is. So that's kind of how we figured that out. How much does it cost us to run and operate a facility? How much is comparable to the other cities and towns around us? And we matched that up and found the rate that we're proposing here.
Just for clarification, this is the first set of fees. We've never charged fees before. Okay. Okay.
Well, we charge fees with the association based off the agreement of the association, so it's never been enforced.
I see. Okay.
So it was kind of up in the air to be able to change it, and so this locks us in and nails that down.
Okay.
Is, does this give us flexibility to not charge?
In certain circumstances, yeah. Okay.
How would we not want to charge?
Well, I'm just curious, because if we were not previously charging and there's somebody, we want to remain friendly with and would we have the ability to continue not charging?
Church.
Something like that, yeah.
Then we could have that option.
Okay.
But typically, we would go with the public rate that we
Yeah.
have in here. I don't have any hourly rates for the association, so if there was some extra practice times or anything like that, we can open the fields up to them for, that we could do that target, because we have a signed agreement in place.
You're proposing this to implement this here in the near future is what the fees are gonna be?
Yeah, so it'd be this year, as soon as it's approved, that they would be able to go with that.
And you police all the cleanup fees and things of that nature, where those are allocated to each team, each person, and you go out there after every field use and say, who cleans up after
That'll
who?
be covered in the next thing we're gonna talk about with the field use agreement, but for public use, yes, so we would have it in an agreement for a tournament if somebody came in or can't, that we would ask them to have their area cleaned up. We would begin charge of taking out trash bags and stuff like that for public. The association, their agreement as far as trash, their usage, so, people come.
Good, sounds like you got it taken care of. No, I think fees are absolutely to help offset some of the costs that, things that we're doing out there, because all this goes back into that same fee pool to kind of offset some of our cost of mowing, things that we're doing out there now.
We're actually able to lower the association fees this year because opening up for public use, we already have a tournament group that wants to come in. So $300 a field per day, they usually use 2 of our fields, or we'd like to use 2 of our fields. So that would offset some of the costs that we're not getting because we lowered the association's fee, so we're helping the association out. It's only $4. In the future, we might look at changing that based on how much we get the public fee rates. But having tournaments come in offsets the operational cost for us, allows us to pay for that.
I think they're great, helps stop the burden of, the individual taxpayer of the city who catches all this right now. I think you need to implement that to the water park as well. Free.
Okay.
More tricky.
Well, I wouldn't bet how many outdoor citizens that don't pay taxes here that use the park. So,
Yeah.
anyway, another conversation another day.
Okay, this is an action item, several different options, motion to recommend the approval, motion to deny the approval, and of course, no action.
So you're looking for a motion to approve? Motion to approve.
A second. No.
This will be the fees right now. You feel like these fees are, and again, we've already done the approval, but you feel like these fees are in competition with what we've got out there now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, given it seems like every other city's probably got their own fees for their own fields.
Yeah, every cities might be a little bit different, it's based on their operating costs, their staff, how they're operating it. I know Cleburne, they have city staff working all their tournaments, events and stuff like that, where we're a much smaller crew, so we might not have the ability to work on this, or it doesn't take us as much because we have less fields or. So it's just based on what our operating costs is, what our expenses are versus what the cost recovery. So with the association, with our operations, we're getting about 55% cost recovery, and then the rest of the cost recovery we're hoping to get from public rates with the tournaments coming in off season. So we're not looking at doing any kind of tournaments during the association. This is more from my like Steve, he's the president of the association. He's joining us today, so see going ahead. But we're, the the association taking priority during their season, so we're not looking at overlapping any of that with the public use rates.
Right.
Public use would be primarily off-season.
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion to recommend approval. We have a second. Is all in favor?
Hi.
I,
Any opposed? Okay. Next item, discussion on an update field use agreement between the City of Joshua and Joshua Youth Association. And again, this is just a discussion item.
This is supposed to be action.
Aaron changed it to discussion.
Okay, so I sent in the packet the draft of the field use agreement and a red line equivalent. This summarizes last year's to what we're currently proposing. The previous agreement was a little vague. There was a lot of language in that agreement that wasn't clear. There was language in there that showed shared responsibility, which we had a couple of some conflicts this year about the wording in that agreement. So the new agreement clarifies a lot of that, gives a lot of explanation. It defines the terms very clearly, so hopefully we're going to make any confusion, misinterpretation, misunderstandings. One of the big changes this year was the removal of cure period. So there was a 30-day cure period in the past with a 10-day resolution. Which makes it really hard for this to schedule around. If we have an issue with trash or anything like that. Having a 10-day cure period, I think trash was 24 hours. Meaning if we have to go in and clean it, enforce that without getting a 24-hour period. So we changed the 24-hour period from trash to noon, and there's non-curable items. So unauthorized use, talking a lot about proxy hosting, unauthorized hosting, things like that, that how we get a cure period for something that's already happened. We don't typically have issues like that with this association. So taking out the cure period won't be an issue. We just don't have those kind of issues. Everything's defined very clearly in the new agreement. So the biggest change that would have the most effect is the 24-hour trash pickup period going down to noon the next day. So that gives us an opportunity to be able to clean the park, and this will be a little bit more enforceable. Hopefully everybody got a chance to read it. If you have any questions on the new agreement?
Didn't see the last agreement, but
that was.
There's a red line.
That was-
equivalent.
Right there.
I've not seen the last one. I don't know how to compare them.
I put the red line in there. It goes over everything I just said.
I think you have cleaning up all those peanut and sunflower seed shells.
How are they going to keep the shells and things off?
They would just need to be picked up at the end of whatever event, whether it's practice or game. If people bring it in, because it's the concession stand doesn't sell peanuts and sunflower seeds, but people still bring them in. So this new agreement clarifies the litter and defines it. Any trash generated by the activity. So that even if it's not directly sold by the association of the concession stand, the participants are bringing it in, so that equals litter.
Okay, and they don't, then they get a fee?
It'd be, if we have to pick it up, it would be the $75 an hour. Or the $25 per trash can.
Okay.
This year, I don't see us having issues with that. Clarify.
So again, this is just a discussion item. So the next meeting, we can have the, I guess, the previous agreement.
Yeah.
And then also this, but also before we would like to send this over to our attorney so that he can also review it as well. So the next meeting, we can have both.
Public comment.
If it's okay with you? can you
Yes,
speak?
no, absolutely.
Okay, so that's the main reason why I'm here, right? Marshall Miller, I'm president of JYSA. Those sunflower seeds and peanut shells were one of the big points last year, so that's added in here. It is tough to police that, of course, you just have to. The other sticking point was the 24-hour cleanup. JYSA is on board with the following day, but sometimes we'll get out there till 9, 10 o'clock. We don't got the energy to walk it that night, so we come back the next day clean it up. Other than that, there's a couple line items that me and Steve are working on over, crossed out. There's some miscommunication for blast ball or kindergarten league. It's not competitive, but
Yeah, so I'll go over those notes. Last fall was both spring and fall, so the version you have has it as just spring, so it'll be updated that it's both spring and fall activity. At the very end, I think it's section 19, it talks about city making amendments. So I'll reword that to amendments to be signed by the association. So it's not just that we can come in and change it. This document is meant to protect the association and JYSA mutually. So making amendments should be signed by both parties. So those are the two amendments that'll be made to the document. Yes.
it's hard to do striking that. So here's one, I'll leave it up to y'all, you can see if you disagree. There's a line in there about requiring a financial audit of JYSA, and see required one. As flat as I can be with most respects I can have, JYSA's business shouldn't be city's business. I think we're 20 folks that report here. So just ask that one be striped. Other than that, you cover the others that we're entering with.
I'm curious what your position is on that.
So the financial audit, some degree I can agree with that it's a separate business, but at the same time, being a nonprofit 501c3 organization, just to be able to ensure that the money we have that are taken from use of the facility is actually being put towards the nonprofit and the state. So another way that we can help protect ourselves as well as the NYSA, keep everybody honest. I do think it's important to have that option to be able to ask for an audit. We have not asked for one in several years, but having the option to do it helps keep everybody honest. That's our interest, protects the facility, that's the kid, protects everybody involved. Making sure there's not any kind of illicit activities going on with the finances gained from the use of facilities.
Is there another entity that does their audit? The reason I'm asking is maybe all we need to do is say, are you in good standing with, and confirm that they're in good standing with their 501c3.
Again, like I said, mentioned earlier, I'll get the attorney to look over this agreement and he'll give us direction on whether or not we can or cannot ask for that information.
Okay.
We'll let him decide.
I was just gonna ask, can we just ask the organization to see their financials, or is that sort of
We'd
prohibited?
like it to come from a third party
Okay.
or be put together in a comprehensive package. 'Cause
Okay.
you just give me a book of financials, like, yep, oh yeah, those are numbers.
Yeah, okay,
There's also liability that would probably come with that.
You know,
Okay.
having an audit number says this is in good standing.
Got it. okay,
Otherwise, we're just sitting there looking at a book of numbers.
okay. Right. I didn't know if we could just request an audit whenever we want it, or if it had to be specified.
If we were to ask for one, it'd be one pretty good.
I see, okay, okay, thank you.
It might be a reason to go monthly audit. quarterly.
Any other discussion, questions on this item? Go to the next item. Discussion on the Parks Department monthly report. Maybe Stephen?
So we've been busy. I think y'all monthly report is about a month behind, just because we have to get it in, so we've had a few things, I'll just go ahead and throw in there. We just did our annual trout fishing kids event. That went extraordinarily well. We gave away 110 fishing rods, cooked up and served 256 hot dogs. 1,600 fish got put in. Most of those probably got caught out that day. That it was a phenomenal event. That we actually ended up having to go get more hot dogs to be able to cook them. We ran out of the first batch.
Oh dear.
But we didn't take a single pole back with us. We didn't take a single hot dog bag. We had Phoenix Bar and Grill came out. They gave away about 300 bags of potato chips and stuff is water they gave away. It was nonstop, and I think everybody that attended had a good time and it was a successful event. We also, I think we had already done the Christmas on Main. Yes, I've heard about that already. We've been working on projects left and right in the park. Take care of, we've been doing some work with baseball fields, fixing some of the field lines and some of the raised lips down the getting new side put in. And some infield dirt so the ball field is still raising up a little bit. We've got our infield attachment machine that the laser grading. So we've been playing around with that, getting them nice and graded out and back where they should be. So we've been busy and keeping up with the park and having got a lot going on.
Any comments before we move on? Okay, the next item, D, future agenda items. Members shall not comment upon, deliberate, or discuss any item that is not on the agenda. Members shall not make routine inquiries about operations or project status on an item that is not posted. However, any member may state an issue and request that this issue be placed on a future agenda. Does anyone have any items for the next agenda?
Fundraiser for tree project?
I have not had a chance to sit down and take a thorough look at that. I've looked at some.
This item it's to be discussed at the next agenda.
That's what I'm asking. Should we?
We can-
Okay.
Any other items? Staff? Okay. Then, Mr. Rumpels, if it's okay, we can adjourn at 4:23.
Where's the Good.
That woke me up.